Now that the summer movie season is officially over, I figured why not go back and look at the top 10 best movies of the summer. Back when this movie came out, I was able to watch it 2 weeks early thanks to the mystery movie screening. And when I first walked out of it, I was like, I really enjoyed that. It was significantly better than Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, and also brought back the roots of what I actually want to see out of a Jurassic World movie. And I thought everyone would agree with me, but once the movie actually came out and critics actually saw the movie, that is not the reviews that came out. Surprisingly to me, this film was extremely mixed. And I just don't see why. Part of that is because I haven't rewatched the movie since the reviews came out, so I haven't seen their perspective on things yet. But another part of that is because this film is enjoyable. It's fun. Just the concept of being trapped on an island, we have kind of done in Jurassic Park 3, but I just like that concept. To me, that's kind of what I want from this franchise moving forward, is these characters trapped on an island where dinosaurs rule. What's wrong with that concept? Nothing is wrong with it. It's simple, straightforward, perfect. Now yes, the movie does have its problems. It feels like two different stories fighting against each other. And some parts are messy compared to other parts. Like that mutated dinosaur, that was completely random. But this movie actually gives us some great horror or tension-built scenes in a Jurassic World movie. And that's exactly what I want. It brought back the roots of what I loved from Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, giving us a great, clean start to this new trilogy of characters. Will it become a trilogy? I don't know, but a lot of the negative reviews for this movie, I thought, okay, are those really necessary? Because this movie is fun, and it gave me exactly what I wanted from this franchise for a long time. What sucks about this movie is that I feel like it was a movie that was completely brushed under the rug that nobody knew was coming out in the first place. And since it's already on digital, it sucks that it wasn't really in theaters that long, because I thought it was pretty on tier with the original film. Depending on the day, I like it more, I like it less. But currently, right now, I like it more than the original film because it just delivered more of what I wanted from the original film, but did it 10 times better. I feel like the characters, since they're good now, there's a lot of different plot points that happen because of it, and I was just hooked to the entire film 10 times more than I was with the original film. Watching the trailers, I wasn't sold. I was very confused on the direction they were going with this film, but actually sitting down and watching the film, it delivered on everything I wanted for a sequel. And if we do end up getting a franchise, I will be 100% ready for that. Before watching Bad Guys 2, I was very mixed on the idea of a franchise. I would have been like, okay, where are you gonna go? I'm very confused. After watching the second one, I want a franchise featuring these characters. This could be DreamWorks' next franchise, if only it did well at the box office. So I guess this future is completely unknown, which sucks because this movie did a lot correctly. The high scenes are 10 times better, the characters have a much better arc throughout, and overall, this is a better movie than the original film, and it sucks to see it fail. Whatever your thoughts were on the first movie is going to be your thoughts on the second movie. If you didn't like the first, you won't like the second, but I feel like the second one did a lot more things right than the first. Here it comes! Now realistically, this is a movie that I will never rewatch, because why would I rewatch this movie when I own the original movie right here? There's no reason for me to actually go back and rewatch this movie, because this is a live-action remake that is essentially a shot-for-shot remake. It's frame for frame, except for a few scenes they added in here. And this movie is nowhere near the same level as the original film. It's the exact same story and does keep most of the magic, but a lot of it is still taken away when transferring it to live action because it just worked way better in animation. But with that said, this is a really good live action remake. Part of that is because it's the exact same story, so you're just seeing that being transferred over. But another part of that is because it kept the same magic that the original film had. None of that is taken away. They casted the characters perfectly, they have the same score, the same story, and everything still plays out the same way, that this does not feel like a cheap live action remake. A lot of the Disney stuff we've been getting recently just feels like they put that out there just for money. This one, although it's probably out here for money and to advertise their theme park they just built, it's a live action remake that does get a lot right because it's still the original film. Yes, I would rather go watch the original film instead of watching this movie, but just seeing this world in live action, just seeing everything just come to life even more, works in this film better than it does for half of the Disney live action remakes. So on that note, you can appreciate it 10 times more because it's significantly better than any other remake. And I'm very curious to see what DreamWorks decides to do with their live action remakes. Because after seeing the numbers and the box office success of this movie, why would they not want to remake more films? Yes, it's shot for shot, but there's still room in there to still make it good. We'll see what they end up doing.
Dr. Coleman?
Oh my God, go!
That's my therapist!
Now, I have nostalgia for that original 2000s movie. If you don't, this movie is not made for you because you're gonna feel so disconnected from it. But since I just love the Freaky Friday formula and do have nostalgia for that film like I mentioned, it just all ended up working for me. And this is a fantastic legacy sequel to the original film. It still keeps everything great about that original film, but instead in modern day. It's now been 20 years since that original film, so we're aging up all these characters and telling a new story because they're now older. And since we now have this new storyline of the character we followed in that original movie now getting married, and we have a 4-way swap instead of a 2-way swap, there's a lot of different conflicts happening, there's a lot of different story threads happening, and because of that, I feel like the emotional payoff at the end of the movie is a lot more stronger than it was in the original movie. And also because of that 4-way swap, it includes a lot of great ideas that they have in there because it's something new that we haven't seen in any Freaky Friday movie. It's not better than the original film, no one was expecting it to be better than the original film, but since it is very much connected to that original film and still gets everything right, it's still as good as the original film, but it will never be better.
Maybe Death's not actually coming for our family. Because that would be crazy.
Now, I got into the Final Destination franchise because this movie was coming out. So going into this movie, I was very much a newcomer who had just watched all 5 movies for the first time and was about to watch 6. And after coming out of it, this is my favorite Final Destination movie. Not only is it my favorite Final Destination movie, but it also has some of my favorite moments in this entire franchise, such as the premonition. The thing that makes this premonition stand out way more than any of the other Final Destination movies is because this premonition is a sequence. Instead, it takes the first 20 minutes of the movie and decides to build that all on this premonition. The first about, I want to say 10 minutes of it, is all the setup, all the suspense. We're introducing these little ideas slowly, so then once the premonition actually does kick in, all these different moments actually have payoff. Because of those first 20 minutes had all that suspense the entire time, once the premonition does actually happen, it's like the suspense all releases from your body because you've been waiting for all that payoff. So then once it does actually happen, it just all of a sudden becomes this full story and this full picture, making it the best premonition. And not only does this premonition make it the best Final Destination movie, but we also have the best characters, the best kills. The kills can be over the top, but that's what you would expect from a Final Destination movie. And we get a send-off to Tony Todd's character. He gives this awesome speech by the end, and it's just so memorable throughout the entire film. I cannot wait to rewatch this movie because I just absolutely loved it, and I have to put it on this October for Halloween.
We will protect you.
Our introduction to the Fantastic Four in the MCU was not quite fantastic. A lot of people can say it's fantastic, but if you ask me, it's just below fantastic, but still almost fantastic. First off, everyone in this movie did a fantastic job at playing their characters. Joseph Quinn, Pedro Pascal, they all just embodied their characters. Pedro Pascal just feels like Reed Richards, he feels like a dad. Joseph Quinn feels like the brother, he feels like the Human Torch. And just every single character feels like their character. And this is my favorite version of the Fantastic Four because the cast is so well accurate. And Galactus, easily the best part of this film. Every time he's on screen, you just feel this huge presence looking over you, and you see him as a fantastic villain. He is by far one of my favorite parts of this movie because throughout the entire film, he had such a fear embodiment around him. He is definitely one of my favorite villains in the entire MCU because they handled him so accurately. And this is not an origin story. We don't need an origin story. We jump right into the story, and I'm completely fine with that because we already know these characters. We might be missing some dynamic at the start, but you instantly fall in love with these characters because they already have that dynamic built up. When the movie instantly starts, you instantly fall in love. That's just how fantastic it is. But time has passed, and I feel like I'm not wanting to rewatch this movie as much as I did for Thunderbolts. I will talk about that later, but Thunderbolts for me, I watched it, I had to instantly rewatch it after. Fantastic Four, I feel like just the urge to rewatch it is not there. Thunderbolts, it was there 100%, I was dying to rewatch it. Fantastic Four, it's not really there. When I rewatch it, will I think it's fantastic? I don't know, we'll see, but right now, I have no urge to rewatch it, but I still came out thinking it was almost fantastic. But real quick, if you want to help me reach my goal of 1K by the end of the year, consider subscribing. Let's continue. Now going into this movie, I know nothing about F1 cars, I know nothing about racing in general. Everything I know about racing is from the Cars movies from Pixar. I only went to watch this movie because it was from the guy of Top Gun Maverick, so that title on its own just shows you what you can expect from this movie. And did it deliver? Absolutely. It's not quite on the level as Top Gun Maverick, but still delivers on that same blockbuster movie. This movie is very much that summer blockbuster movie. Because it just feels like Top Gun Maverick. It's because it's from the same director, but instead of being a sequel to Top Gun, it's a new movie featuring F1 racing. Brad Pitt is a fantastic star, and just fits this movie so well. And the entire movie is kind of just underdog story. Who does not like a classic underdog story? And since the entire movie they were actually driving F1 cars, every time they were actually in that car, you just felt it in the theater. It felt like you were actually in the stadium racing with these characters. And it's just a movie that when it was in theaters, you have to watch it in every single format for the best experience. IMAX 4DX, just so you can actually feel like you're in this stadium. It's what Top Gun Maverick was 3 years ago. And I wish it did better. It did really good, but it could have done better. It deserved to be better. But F1, yeah, it deserves all the hype. I loved it. And that's coming from someone who knows nothing about racing.
Everyone here has done bad things. You can't escape the past.
Now it sucks that this movie didn't do better at the box office because this is the best Marvel movie that we have gotten in a long time. Now, I can admit when I first watched it, I liked it, but I knew it was going to go up on rewatch. And after all these months when I finally did rewatch the movie, I loved it. This is the best Marvel movie we have gotten in a long time. I'm someone who has been defending Marvel, so saying that this is the best Marvel movie we have gotten in a long time is saying that this is almost a top 10 MCU film. It just does everything that an old MCU movie always did. Is that they introduce a bunch of characters that you don't love, but throughout the entire movie, all of a sudden, you fall in love with the character, and they're some of your favorite characters in the entire MCU. And that's exactly what this movie did. They take all these characters that you probably forgot about, Yelena, US Agent, Ghost especially, and then they somehow turn those characters into characters you want to see again. Especially Ghost. Now for context, Ghost was a character for me that I questioned severely of why they were even in this movie in the first place, because it seemed like just forgotten character in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But Thunderbolts made me fall in love with her character too. Every single character in this movie now has meaning, and you want to see them again. And I hope after Avengers Secret Wars that they keep them as the team that they are, still not spoiling it, so we can actually see more of them, so they're not just this wasted group of characters that we only got to see in like 3 movies. Because I just love this team of characters and just want to spend more time with them. And the movie itself is a mental health storyline. And that may seem random, but the movie plays it off like it's the best idea ever, because every single one of these characters has gone through that. And Sentry is easily my favorite MCU villain we have gotten in a long time. Better than Galactus, better than all these other villains. I love what they did with Sentry. He's this almighty, powerful being in here, and I can't wait to see how he actually compares in Avengers Doomsday, because he seems like this character that is just so overpowered, just probably like the most powerful character in the MCU, so I'm very curious to see and excited to see what they do with his character down the line. And possibly a bit nervous too. And let's not forget how the post-credit scene is the best MCU post-credit scene possibly ever. Although I have been defending Marvel, I am very obviously know that they are not as good as they used to be. Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, easily proved they are back on track. The future only looks brighter. Spider-Man, 2 Avengers films, Marvel's back, they're in the right spot, straight line ahead. Thunderbolts just brought it all back, and if you haven't seen this film, what are you doing? It's some of the best Marvel has ever done.
You're all I can think of. Every drop I drink up. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop.
Now, K-Pop Demon Hunter is a movie that absolutely came out of nowhere and just became one of the best movies of the entire year. Now, I am someone that knew the movie before because of the studio, but a lot of people did not know this movie's existence until all of a sudden it released on Netflix and became the most popular Netflix movie. It's everywhere on social media still. The songs are amazing and I still listen to them. My Spotify rap at the end of the year is gonna be nothing but Soda Pop, Your Idol, Golden. And just K-Pop Demon Hunter songs in general. And last weekend, I was able to watch this movie in theaters, and it was easily the best way to experience this movie, because just the animation and hearing the songs on that big screen sounds perfect. Watching it in theaters just seemed like the ideal way to watch the movie, and part of me wishes I could go back in time and actually watch the movie for the first time in the big screen, because it was just the perfect way to watch it, and if it was released in theaters in the first place, I just wanted to know my reaction coming out of the movie, because it would just made that experience 10 times better. And like I mentioned, I've been listening to the soundtrack repeatedly over the past 2 months, and I am still not sick of the music in here. Every single song is a straight 10 out of 10 every single time. Now, the only song in here that arguably could not be a 10 out of 10 for me is Takedown, but even then, it's almost a 10 out of 10. I cannot wait to see what Netflix and Sony decide to do with the rest of this trilogy they're making, because they can do a lot. And I can't wait for it because Sony is arguably in a better spot right now. They are easily the best animated studio of the decade. They are going to be the studio of the decade when we look back at the 2020s. Every single decade has a studio that stands out about it. The 1990s was probably Disney, 2000s was Pixar, 2010s was Marvel. This decade is easily going to be Sony because they are so good. James Gunn did it, and not only introduced the DCU in the best way possible, but gave us a fantastic Superman movie. We have seen James Gunn's work. Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker. We see how he can take characters that almost nobody knows about and turn them into some of the best characters that he has given us. So, when you have the most popular DC character, well, arguably the most popular DC character, and give him to James Gunn, what does James Gunn do with that character? Well, give us a Superman movie. Because this movie plays off as if it is a comic book. We instantly start, we're instantly in the action, we're instantly in this world, and just like that, we know everything about the DCU, we don't need any more context. We're introduced to this version of Superman. Seeing how he is Superman, he embodies Superman. Yes, Henry Cavill does have good moments here and there, but you could say he's not comic book accurate. This version of Superman is easily comic book accurate. He saves a Skrull. And a lot of people are not crazy about the message that his parents have and how his parents are actually evil. But I love that because it's the theme of the movie and it just shows that Superman is a great person. A lot of people are also not crazy about the Justice Gang being in this movie. For me, it worked because it just showed the DCU was building out, and we get to introduce these group of characters that James Gunn is good at introducing and making you love them. With Superman and Peacemaker Season 2 now out, the DCU is off to a great start. Creature Commandos Superman and Peacemaker Season 2, all from James Gunn, are all almost a 10 out of 10 project. The DCU is in a great spot and in great hands thanks to James Gunn, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for this universe. But anyways, if you like this video, maybe these ones on the side ones you too. Like, subscribe, see you guys next time. Goodbye.